In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to animate lights and cameras, but before we do that, I wanted to show you how to animate the character's face as well. So with our blocky characters, it was just a matter of moving vertices and usually using the soft select. With the cat characters, it's just a little bit different. I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to isolate the princess right here. That way we can just zoom in on her. So now I've got her body unfrozen, so we can see like the shell part of her body that makes her up. And you'll notice over here in the stack that not only is there a skin morpher, that's the one that attaches the skin to the bones, but there's also this morpher right here. And in this morpher, you're going to have lots and lots of different selections to go through. What I'm going to do is if I move my cursor right over here to the side, I can drag this over and you'll see that I now have even more stuff to play with. Basically, I've got two columns here instead of one. That'll come in very handy. So these morphers, or excuse me, these characters are generated with a program that I've got from Autodesk. And if you want to make a custom character, just talk to me and we'll work together on making you a custom character. And they come with these different morphers. In other words, things that affect the facial expressions here. So for instance, here it's got an A or an Ah morpher right here that's going to open and close the mouth. See, just by spinning the wheels. The problem with them is that the titles on them are too long, so it's oftentimes hard to see what that morpher is. There is an easier way though. If I go down here to where it says channel parameters, and I'll see this thing that says 1 right here because 1 is selected. If I just click on this, and then I'm going to say use channels. Now if I just hover over there, I'll get all the different selections. So for instance, if I was just to come down here to, let's say, kiss, right? It's going to instantly jump to number 37, which was right here, and that's the kiss. And so, boop, there she goes. And you can animate that, of course. So let's see. If I go down here again, click on that, hover over the use channels, and go down a little bit lower, here down where this arrow is, all the way down here, I can see other parts. You know, there's almost too many morphers here, to tell you the truth. And maybe one of these days I'll simplify them a little bit. But so you can open the eyes, you can close the eyes. For instance, here's one for closing the eyes. Click on that. And you can see we can make her wink. Okay, well what if I just want to make her smile for my little music video here? What I'll do is I'll click on this, show the use channels, and let's see, where is it? Oh, smile, here we go. So, there's a closed smile, here's an open smile, that'd be better for dancing. So 31, it's right here, and so, and right next to it is the other side, because it's right and left controls. And that can make her smile. Let's zoom in on her just a little bit. Ooh, almost kind of creepy. Anyways, so not only, here I'll show you this, not only can we open and close the mouth for the smile, let me show you this, right up here, let's see if you can see it better, use channels. Let's go to, where was it? Down here, right? Down, 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 down. Oh, smile open, smile closed. Mouth open, right here. That's 27. So opening up her mouth. And you can see that her teeth don't go with her, right? Because the teeth have a morpher of their own. So if I click on the teeth, you'll see here's the object properties for that, and here's the morpher. And this is a much shorter list, fortunately. Here's my channel parameters. They're rolled up, but I can just open those. And so right here, I'll click on that, use channels, And you can see here at number 30 is mouth open. So I'll click on that, and then I can open up the mouth. There it is. Well, that looks a little bit better now. So, and we can animate these just like anything else. So for instance, if I was to put this back to 0 here, and I'll go back to her skin and to the morphers, and back to 0 on all those, turn on my auto key, and move the slider over just a little bit. It's a little funny because it's already animated, so I'd probably do the expression first. But so here she's starting with a closed mouth, and then I could just open the mouth a little bit, and then give her a little bit of a smile. Here's the open smile here, and the open smile here. I'll just put that at 100%. That'll be easy. Okay, and then I'll go to the teeth, and to the morpher, and here's the mouth open. There it is. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, it's going to be a little bit funny because she's already animated and moving around, but you'll see that her mouth was closed. Can we see that any better? And mouth open. Okay, so she's having a great time. And maybe that's kind of crazy, huh? And we can open her and close her mouth at any time. Okay, so anyways, but that's Morphers. Really easy to use, and if you need to refer back to this video, it's right at the beginning. Okay, so enough of that. I'll turn off my auto key and go ahead and unselect that and end my isolation. Okay, now for the main focus of this tutorial, which was the lighting and the camera. So first I'm going to go ahead and bring this back over here because I don't need that. It's just kind of handy for the morphers. And then I'm going to go to the stage here and open it up. And I've got the various hangers for those lights. So I think I want this one here, and I'm going to control click this one here. And I'm going to move both of those back further out so I can light up more of the stage. Alrighty, all good. And so then I think what I'll do is I'm going to isolate the stage. So I'm going to click on that, double click that, that gets everything, and isolate. Alright, let me see, how about top view here? That'll be handy. And I'm going to go ahead and the stage itself, I'm going to make that see-through. Okay, so that's going to be a lot easier. Alright, all good. And finally, I want to see my graph editor. So here's my graph editor. There's that dope sheet. And once again, it's all crazy big here with these numbers. I'm just going to move that over to the center and then just zoom in on that again so I can see my music. Okay, all good. Now I can make this music go directly to the waveform, and that would be good, but I'm not sure if it's all that important. Maybe I'll just swing the lights around a few times. So if I just go to the hanger right here, and remember we set these up just like they would be mechanically. So the hanger is going to turn in one direction while the light itself is going to turn in another. You'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. And before I even have my auto key turned on, I'm going to go ahead and move this more towards the center here. Same with this one right here. And that will give me a good starting point. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my auto key. And let's see here. Okay, and so we have 900. So I think I'll just divide that into like 150 each. And so right here, it's going to just go more this way. And this one can also go more this way. And these ones here, maybe I'll do the opposite and make this one go more out. And this one here, I want to get that hanger. There we go, more out. something like that. And then at 300, I'll just do the opposite. I'll make these ones go in. You can see where using the Scene Explorer really helps sometimes. Making these ones go out. Okay, I don't want to go out too far. And then what I can do is I can just use the power of repetition, and I'll grab all these guys. So I'll grab this, and this, and this, and this. So now I have all the keyframes for all of them, and I'm just going to shift copy those over. So I'm going to hold this down, and hold down my shift key, move that over to what, 450, right? And then letting that up, I'm going to hold down my shift key again, and just move those over again to 750. And there we go. Now we have the lights going all the way. Okay, well that was easy. So now maybe changing the camera, the lights colors a little bit. Go ahead and click on this and right click and go to Expand Selected. All right, and that way I get all these guys right here, and it'll be easier to get to things once again. And so now I can change the colors of these lights. I think I'll go right here to the spot itself. That's the very last thing on the chain. And here to my parameters. All right. And down here, roll that up so I get a little bit more room. Down here we've got the intensity and color. Same thing as what you'd have on your Omni lights. And I'm going to change the color. Okay, and with the sunset colors, I think I want to keep these kind of warm, maybe reds and purples and stuff like that. So maybe we'll start off having things be, with this one, a little bit more red. And then, as I move the slider about halfway-ish, then maybe I can go, let's say a little bit more to the purple end of things. And then with this, I'll go back to the red. And if you look over here, you'll see that this is now animated as well. So now I'll just go ahead and do that for the rest of these guys. So I'm just going to push OK and go down to this one here. Oh, hang on a second. Before I do that, once I put a color on the spotlight, it's really going to cut down the amount of light. So I think right off the bat, I'm going to jump those up to maybe like 2.5. Okay. That would be better. All right, so now for my next light, maybe that one. I'm going to start off with white, but we're not going to stay with white. Oh, I see. Yeah, I had to get that all the way over to 0. It was on 1. So with this one, how about we do the opposite? Maybe start more with that magenta color. Go about halfway. And then back to the red. And then back to the magenta again. And say OK. All right, my next light, all the way back to 0. And let's see, what color should we start with now? How about something a little bit more orange, just for the heck of it? So we're going to start off with more orange. And we'll go to maybe something like, back once again to a little bit more purple. And then back to orange. And finally, I haven't been raising up the intensity on those. I could also change the intensity, by the way, but I won't get too crazy on it. So that one, and then this one too, right? Yeah. Let's just keep that intensity up. You know what? Since I had my auto key on when I did that, I better go back down here because you see it did animate those. But I'll just bring that up to 2.5, and then it'll be the same all the way along. Let me double check that this one is good. This one wasn't either. Just checking, making sure that those aren't going up or down. Although for you, making the light less or more intense might be really a cool thing to do. Nothing wrong with it. I think it'd be a great thing to animate. I just didn't want to do it in mine. Okay, so for this one, this last one, well, I'll just do the same kind of thing, I think. So a little bit more towards the orange. And going from orange. And let's do it right this time. All right, to a more purple. And then back to orange. There we go. Good enough. All right, well, we'll see how that comes out. Hopefully it'll look good. You know what I can do to test it is I can take a few stills. So why don't I do that? I'm going to make the stage, once again, normal, and I'm going to end the isolation. Go back to my perspective view, turn off my auto key. You want to turn off that auto key because like you could see before, it can get you in trouble if you leave it on. So now I'll just take a still frame to see what's going on with it. Let me check my render setup and make sure I haven't saved this as a file. So I've got it on single. And here, remember at the very beginning I was telling you guys to put it down to low resolution when you're just doing tests. That's what I'm going to do now. It'll make things a lot faster. When I actually render it, I do want this medium resolution. And yes, you see it says a file right now, and I like that file name. That's where it's going to go eventually. But I want to make sure this is unchecked. You see right now, I would be saving the file. But if I uncheck that, then that'll be fine, and it won't save the file. Let's see how that works. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. Not sure if the lights are really fitting where I want them to go. Let's see about what if we move that forward a little bit. So more towards the middle now. What does that look like? Pretty interesting. I think that these top spotlights, though, aren't giving me the best that I could do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go back and adjust these guys a little bit. So let's see here. Got that building. I'm going to double click that so everything is selected. Put it back into the isolation. Go back to my top view. Click on just the stage and make it see-through. Go back to 0 here and turn on my auto key. Clicking on this guy, let's see. Let's take a look at it from a different view. How about left? Okay. So here I can see where these guys are shining sort of off to the side. Where I really want them is I want them more towards the center. So for that, if I want this to be realistic at all, what I'm going to have to do, I've got a perspective viewport here, is I'm going to have to move this part of light itself, okay, and just bring them down a little bit. So I'll click on that, and I'm going to make sure that the gizmo is on local. There we go. That way it's going to rotate the way I want it to. So here, setting it back, I'm just going to point them down. So this one's going to be down more, and this one as well, down more. And if I have any doubts about where they're going, what I can do is I could click on the light itself, and down here, in Spotlight Parameters, I can go Show Cone. That way it's going to show the cone of this light even when it's not selected. See how that is? Okay, so let's see, how's that looking? Okay, I think that's going to be a little bit better because they're going to be pointed more down towards the stage there. A little bit, right, maybe about there. That's about where my people are. Okay, so let's give that a try now. Turn off my auto key. And so right here, anywhere sort of in the middle, whoop, I'm going to take a picture and see how that's looking. Okay, not bad, but I think that those could be even more focused. Let's see, do they come in a little bit more focused than that? They do. So what does that look like? Yeah, okay, so at some points it does come in a little bit. Now, what about these guys here, the ones at the bottom? I'm not sure about those ones either. So let's see here. How about, I'm just going to make them go down. So I have my auto key turned off right now. Put it at 0 just in case. But I think that with my auto key turned off, I can just roll that down and roll that down, and that's where the starting point will be. And I think that's going to be a little bit better as well. So let's take a look. Yeah, that's looking better. Things are more focused now. How about somewhere further down the line? What's that looking like? Yeah, I think that light will be fine. Once again, it's the kind of thing that if I wasn't doing a tutorial, I might tweak with a little bit more, but you guys want me to get on with it, right? So here we go.